Right, when we talk about compound intervals, we're talking about an interval that's more than an octave. So far we've had unison, perfect unison, major second, major third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, major sixth, major seventh, perfect octave, and then of course we made the augmented, diminished, and minor intervals from those intervals. But we always started with the major perfect. But we knew that when we used 2, 3, 6, and 7, we were working with major. And when we work with 1, 4, 5, and 8, we work with perfect. It's the same thing in compound intervals, but we have to know which intervals are perfect, which intervals are major. But here's a real easy way to know it. Just add 7. You just add 7. So in other words, a perfect unison, add 7, you get a perfect octave, which we've already had. Major second, add 7, you get major 9. Right? Major third, add 7, and you get major 10th. Perfect fourth, add 7, you get... See, it's not major, right? You start with a perfect fourth, so you add 7, and you get what? Perfect 11th. Perfect fifth, add 7, you get perfect 12th. Major sixth, add 7, you get major 13th. Major 7, add 7, and you get major 14th. Perfect octave, add 7, and you get perfect 15th. So those are the compound intervals we're going to work with. Now here's what I would do. I think this is a really easy way to do it. All right, so we're going to start. The first one we have, I'm looking in the book right now, I'm on page 149. The first problem we have here, we start with B flat, and we're looking for a major 13th. I would just subtract 7. What do you get? 6. Right? So just find the major. So what's a 6th above B? 6th above B. G. Key signature of B flat. What does that tell us about G? So that tells us the key signature of B flat is 2 flats. G is natural, so a major 6th above B flat is G. Now if I write it here on the second line of the treble clef, I'll have a 6. But if I raise it an octave and write it on just above the staff, I have a major 13. Now it's a compound interval. You see? So that's what I'm saying. If you can just subtract 7, and it makes it really easy to do these. All right, so let's try the next one. We're going to do a minor 9th, starting with B below the staff. First of all, subtract 7. What do you get? 2. So what's a second above B? C. So first of all, just like we did before, we're going to find the major second first. So the key signature of B is what? 5 sharps. That tells us C is. So B to C sharp would be the major second. So the minor second would be, it would be B to C. But if I'm not going to write it here right next to B, one ledger line below the staff, because that would be a minor second. I'll just take it up an octave, and I have a minor 9th. Next one, or major 10th. Subtract 7 and you get 3. So a third above E is G. Key signature of E, 4 sharps. What does that tell you about G? G is sharp. So E to G sharp would be if I write it here, it's a major third. If I write it on the second line of the staff. But if I write it up here, just above the staff, G sharp, E to G sharp is a major 10th. Let's look at the next one. We've got to start with a D, and we're going to a diminished 11. So again, Just subtract 7 from 11, you get fourth. So think, what's a fourth above D? And fourths, we know, are perfect. So we think of the key of D is what? 2 sharps. What does that tell you about G? It's natural. So D to G is the perfect fourth. How do I make it diminished? Okay, so it'd be G flat, right? Again, so if I write it here, it's a diminished fourth. If I raise it up an octave, I have a diminished 11th.